AFC East Division title is on the line as Buffalo flies down to Miami in this Week 18 matchup. Miami has already clinched a playoff spot, but Buffalo technically still has not clinched a playoff spot yet, even though they currently are the 6th seed. If the Steelers lose on on Saturday against Baltimore, then Buffalo will clinch that spot. But if not, and Pittsburgh wins on Saturday, Buffalo must win this game, and so they will either be the number 2 seed or they will be out of the playoffs. So it's going to be a lot of stuff going on. Ryan and I, we're going to break down the game here, give our predictions. But before we do that, like, subscribe, keep growing our community and help us reach our goal of getting to 3,000 subscribers by the end of the NFL playoffs. Can't believe how quickly this channel is growing. So thank you to everybody. Ryan, what's your thoughts on this game overall? I mean, Buffalo, I feel like has kind of oddly, no one gave them really much of a shot, and they're proving everybody wrong. They have an opportunity to win the AFC East this Sunday night.
Yeah, I mean, at one point they were 5-7, or no, 5-6, 4-6, and they did not look good. They struggled on offense. They were making too many mistakes, and I will say this: New England is not a good team. They are in the division, so that you always have to give them credit. But 17 of Buffalo's 27 points came off of turnovers in Week 17. One of them was directly a pick six. One was interception. They never got a first down. They just kicked a field goal on. And then the other one was they got a short field and then drove down and kicked a field goal in the red zone. So this offense still really struggled. Granted, New England does have one of the best, or they do have the best run defense in the NFL. And they do have a top 10 passing defense as well. So I think that is they have a much better defense than the Dolphins, especially now Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb look to have suffered season-ending injuries. And so that, I think, is going to be a big relief for the Buffalo Bills. But on the offensive side, too, the Dolphins, their offensive line is not super strong. They really try to finesse teams instead of like overpower them and really kind of impose their will just with the amount of speed. But with that being said, Jalen Waddle is going to miss time, or he has missed time. He is questionable to play for January 7th. And yeah, Buffalo is relatively healthy. I do have Josh Allen listed as questionable. And I'm really curious to know if it's if it's with a head injury or not, because there were 2 hits late in the game last week that Josh Allen just he looked a little phased, I guess. He's not on the injury report like with anything. It just says Josh Allen questionable.
So I was just looking it up here. Josh Allen said he got a little stinger after the last play and has never experienced one before, but says he's all good. Seems like maybe something similar to like what Brock Purdy went through, where he just needed to like jolt to the nervous system and like everything was all tingly. We've seen that happen to a couple of guys this year. Damian Harris is another one. The Bills. I remember he got tackled weirdly, and you see him like moving his fingers while he's down on the ground, and I supposedly, the way I heard about it on YouTube by Dr. Brian Sutterberg, the sports medicine YouTube guy. He said it's like if you hit your funny bone, but it goes all throughout your entire body. And so it's apparently just a really weird feeling. And so that's on the monitor, but I'm sure that he'll be fine, and they will do everything possible to have him ready by Sunday night to go and play here. And I want to touch on, I think the Jalen Waddle injury, I think is
ankle sprain?
It's a high ankle sprain. So his status is going to be huge, because I think as we saw against his Baltimore team. Now, of course, Baltimore put up 56 points here, and that has nothing to do with the Miami offense. But Miami still only put up 19. And if it's just Tyreek Hill out there, they don't really have too many other receiving weapons here. So teams are going to be able to like, okay, we're going to double Tyreek. He's not going to beat us. Have somebody else beat us here. And the Buffalo Bills defensive front, especially their run defense and their defensive line, has played significantly better over this final end stretch. And somehow, too, with the secondary as well, how banged up that they are. They're still playing really good football also. I know you mentioned the Patriots and like how they had 17 points off of turnovers. The Patriots, the past couple of weeks, haven't played horrible ever since Bailey Zappi has come out. So I think they're definitely not a playoff team, but They have been playing better ball, I would say.
So their defense, especially even without Matthew Judon and Christian Gonzalez, has been top 5 in the league, easy.
Yeah.
And I think that gave Buffalo more fits because they were able to take the running really out of it and put the ball in Josh Allen's hands, who had, I believe, 2 fumbles, neither of which were actually turned over, but he also had a really bad interception as well.
Yeah.
And so definitely still the opportunities there. I think the ball just kind of fell in Buffalo's favor on those particular plays.
Yep.
And Miami will not pose nearly the threat on the defensive side of the ball that New England did. New England's offense is still completely inept. They have one playmaker on the offensive side of the ball. That where like the Dolphins, even with Jalen Waddle out, Cedric Wilson's still really good. They have a bunch of other weapons. So,
but they're not. But
they're not
much easier for Buffalo to manage. Yeah, it's much easier for Buffalo to manage. I think that those guys work well within the system when Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are out on the field because there's so much attention given to them that it provides opportunities. If it's just one of those guys, then I think it's like, oh, well, this guy, he's not really going to be able to burn us on his own. He needs help. And that's where I think with Miami, these injuries are really starting to build up, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And we've seen this now with Miami, that teams with a good defensive front that they're able to get after the quarterback really disrupt this offensive line. And as you mentioned, like to spread things out, teams are able to shoot the gap. They really struggle. Guys that can get after Tua, get him off his rhythm here. And it's going to be interesting as well on how they try and navigate this Buffalo defense, which has improved throughout the season. And at the same time, try and stop this Buffalo Bills new offense, so to say, with this more traditional running game, which has really picked up ever since Joe Brady has become the offensive coordinator. I'm going to find it interesting with Bradley Chubb now being out, Jalen Phillips being out. They still have good defensive front seven. I understand people are going to say that. I also need to watch David Howard's status as well, as he was ruled out with a foot injury as well. So need to monitor his status also.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of things I feel like going against the Dolphins here in this game. And I feel like the Bills, as I've been saying, they've been playing the right football at the right time. It's just going to be, can Josh Allen not make turnovers? Can he hang on to the ball and protect the ball?
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get into our predictions here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe and leave a comment down below on who you think is going to come out ahead. Tyler and I, we have a goal of getting to 3,000 subscribers by the end of the playoffs. So if you could help us reach that goal, that would be very much appreciated. And I'll go first on this one because I'm pretty sure we have the same pick here. But Buffalo, I think, has a lot to play for here. They're the healthier team. They, in my opinion, are just playing better football at this point. And I think you look at when Buffalo has been really successful and dominant on offense, they've been able to run the ball. And without Jalen Phillips, without Bradley Chubb, I really think that the Dolphins are going to struggle to contain this offense just because they'll be able to just kind of manhandle them at the point of attack. So I'm going to go with the Bills here. I think they're the better team. I expect them to come in and win this one.
Yep. I'm also going to go with Buffalo here. I think that they are playing better football as of right now. I think that they're the better team. Miami, I feel I don't like saying one trick pony, but it's.
I would say that it's just a really good trick.
It's just a really good trick. They just need to utilize speed, and that works well against teams that are inferior on the defensive side of the ball. They don't have the talent over there, but you still have their biggest weakness, if you face a team with a good defensive line that can provide pressure and really throw this offensive line off, which still isn't really that great. I mean, it works well within the system because they have not small. I don't want to say small, but just fast offensive linemen with the type of zone schemes that they use and how they try to spread the ball out to create space for all of the speedster players that they have. Like, I think they have 3 of the fastest NFL players with Hill, Waddle, and Devon Achane.
Like track speed. Like
track speed. Oh, no, I know. Yeah. So it's like they're trying to create that space so they can utilize that speed. And Buffalo, I think they are going to be able to really disrupt that the type of game plan that Mike McDaniels wants to have. Also now, too, Jalen Waddle might not play with a high ankle sprain. That's going to be very tough. And if he does, he's going to be limited with his full explosiveness and athletic capabilities. Bradley Chubb is out. Wish him nothing but the best, by the way. That's very unfortunate. Jalen Phillips has been out for quite some time now. Xavier Howard's status is going to have to be monitored with his foot. I feel like I think that was more precautionary reasons. Also, he said his left shoulder, he left late in the game, but I think that was just this is a know-nothing time for the game. There's no point in bringing you back in. So if you feel sore, let's just sit you now. So I'm not looking too much into that, even though I know some people might be saying that. So I'm going to go with Buffalo here. Josh Allen just needs to protect the ball. He just needs to protect the ball.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and wrap this one up. We're both taking the Bills. Let's go ahead and ask you guys to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on who you think is going to come out ahead in this matchup. Again, Tyler and I, we have a goal of getting to 3,000 subscribers by the end of the playoffs. So if you can help us reach that, that would be very much appreciated. Other than that, we will see you guys next time.